Jesus. Yeah. They're evil. I'm good. It's fine.
Geno, how happy were you with the overall performance from the Lib? I mean, she just really filled out the stat sheet today.
Yeah, when you play in games like these, you have to almost, have a game plan. You have to go in and you have to say, what do I want to get done today? What do I want to get accomplished? And if you do that, I think you can be pretty successful. And for Liv, that's got to include, I've got to make a couple shots, I got to score in the lane a little bit, I got to play good defense, I got to block a couple shots. I just think you have to say that, make that plan, and that's a couple games now where she's really, really done a good job with that, and hopefully that's the start of something.
Geno, obviously 3 straight wins since the pause. Is the team kind of getting used to the new normal? Are players figuring out their roles? How happy are you with where things are after the break there?
It's been a real struggle, I think, for everybody. Not just the players, and not just at UConn here. I think it's been a national struggle, for everybody, and you just hope that you get to keep playing, so that you can, whatever rhythm you get into, you can keep at it, and then it's not stop and start. So we've played 3 games in a row, so that really helped us a lot. And now we have another game Monday, and hopefully, we're on the downside, of this, and we can start to look forward to a regularly scheduled game actually being played on those days. And our team's starting to understand that there's a lot of uncontrollables in their life, and there's not all the whining and all the complaining and all the woe is me doesn't help. And the playing, I watch a lot of basketball games, and there's a lot of this. Kid makes a great play. Kid throws the ball, bounce off somebody's head. Kid dives on a loose ball, guy on the bench. It's like they're in the box in a Zoom, and they don't want to participate in class. So we've tried really hard the last, 2 weeks to be different than that. And they're, I'm really proud of them. They're responding. Makes all this stuff bearable.
One of the things about Caroline, since she's gotten much more playing time, she isn't certainly not shy to shoot the ball. And while she got 20 points today, she took 17 shots. That said, even though she didn't shoot the ball well, she still filled the stat sheet. What does that say about her maturity, that when the ball's not going in as often as she wants, she doesn't shut down and she gets other things done?
Well, I don't know what was more impressive, the 7 rebounds, the 3 offensive fouls. Ever since you guys anointed her the next John Havlicek, I think she's taken it to heart. And today she gave more hip checks than she did John Havlicek. So Caroline tries to do everything really, really well. She puts a lot of pressure on herself. She takes a lot of pride in her performance, what she looks like, what people think of her performance. She's one of these kids who's not afraid to put it out there, because she's going to give you her best every night. And today, you're right, she didn't exactly shoot the ball well. And that's one reason why we struggle too on offense, because we need her to shoot the ball great. And she played a lot of minutes, which is good. She rebounded the ball, which is good. She was in a passing lane a couple times, which is good. And there's times when you forget that she's a freshman out there. She looks a little bit mature, like to your point, a little bit more mature than a freshman, than your typical freshman. But when her birthday came, she's older than Liv, I think. So I think she got redshirted in kindergarten or second grade, and then went to prep school. So she could play for our hockey team. I think she's 23.
Geno, this is the second straight game where your seniors and Caroline I think they've led the team in scoring both games. Is that kind of the identity, at least offensively, you see emerging in this time where you're still without Paige, still without AZ, but because the seniors have so far responded to your call, because Caroline continues to do what she's doing, do you see that as where you're going to go moving forward?
Yeah. I learned this in high school. We had like 6 or 7 seniors my senior year that were, and Coach Scarlett pretty much just said, look, I'm only keeping 3 of you guys, so you other 4, you're out. But he didn't exactly say who those 4 were. So you were left to figure it out on your own if you want to be one of those 3. Because if you're going to keep a senior on the team, they've got to be productive. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You might as well just have 4 more freshmen. So to be a senior, it comes with a lot of responsibility. Like, you're here for a reason, and you have to be productive. So what is it that you're going to bring every game that contributes to us winning? What is it? And then we have to expect it, and we have to get it every single night. Because I can't expect Caroline to do it every single night. Or maybe even Nika. I don't know. Some of the younger guys. But for you guys, it has to be a given every night. This is what we're going to get. Because that will also make things easier for the other guys. And now Caroline is starting to act like that. She's acting like one of the seniors. Like, I've been here before. I know when you need a bucket from me, which is pretty unusual for a freshman.
Geno, it seems like the last 2 games have been sort of get-right games for you guys. How valuable is it that the team kind of gets a sense of how they need to play on a given night, even if it's not against the top competition?
Yeah. The thing that was always impressive about Connecticut basketball from my standpoint, I don't know from people out there watching or media covering it or whatever, but for me it was always, we're going to do the same thing every night regardless of who we play. It doesn't matter if we play the worst team in the league on Tuesday and then we play the number 1 team in the country on Saturday. We're going to do the exact same things. And I don't ever want to be in that situation where we're going to play according to who the competition is, because we won't win that game on Saturday if we do that. We can't go into today's game and say, Xavier's been banged up a little bit. Let's just not get anybody hurt for the Oregon game. And we'll really be ready for Oregon. We would play shitty today, and we would get our ass kicked at Auburn. At Oregon. So we take great pride over the last 37 years. We play the same way every day. And that's kind of been a struggle to find that last couple of years. Last couple of years has been kind of a struggle. I think today's player, is maybe a little more laid back, I don't know that they feel the urgency to put it out there every single minute that they're out there. So it's on us to teach them how to do that.
Geno, speaking about, the way that your seniors have played, Kristen especially has been lining up from downtown. What have you seen in her progression that gives her more confidence from beyond the arc, and how much does that help you guys?
Kind of what we were just talking about. I said, if you're doing the same things now, Kristen, that you did as a freshman, then what's the point of playing you? So if you're just going to stand around and wait for your shot to go in, you stink and we stink as a team. Now, if while you're shooting the ball, and whether it's going in, not going in, might go in, might not go in, you're getting 3 or 4 steals, 4 or 5 rebounds, 2 or 3 assists. Now all of a sudden you're filling up the stat sheet. Now you're contributing, and the ball just happens to not be going in. And lo and behold, when the mindset changed, the ball started going in. It's funny how that works, right? So I think because her focus has been on other things, how to help my team other ways, the ball's starting to go in. And I think she's becoming a little more resilient, you know? I'm amazed, you know, in practice, how many shots we can miss in a row. Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. And the more I bring it up, the more they miss. And the more I go, somebody's got to make one soon, miss. Somebody better make one, miss. Do we have anybody that can make one, miss? And guess who makes the most? Caroline. Always when we need one. Always. So because of that, Kristen has been like, well, I need to make my share. So there's more of a resiliency to coming back from misses. That if I miss 3, that doesn't mean I'm going to miss 23. So I mean, Caroline, she could miss 17 and think, I'm making the next 17. And this has helped too. How many turnovers we have today? 17. A lot of them were stupid, right? Like really, really, really stupid. Like, you know, it's a pretty decent turnover, and some were just really stupid. I did take my glasses off and offered them to Amari. And she said, I would have contacts. I said, well, I don't give a shit what you have. They don't work. We just see 3 defenders, and we think that we can throw it to somebody. But one of the reasons why we turned it over so little against Butler is I told them that if they're open, they should shoot it instead of trying to pass it. As soon as you're open and you catch it, shoot it. So Kristen's like, yeah, I can live like that. So I think sometimes something simple like that means like coach has confidence in me. When you catch it, shoot it. We don't turn it over. Just catch and shoot it. It's like when I was coaching Chris Lamb, remember? So if you ever have a choice, pass or shoot, shoot. Shot has 50-50 chance of going in, right? Your passes are like 80-20. It ain't gonna get caught. So I think this new way of playing is really going to help us. Catch it and shoot it. Shoot your shot. As soon as you catch it. It's my shot. Shoot it. Brilliant, coach. You don't get to be at my level without that kind of brilliance.
So, you know, you have a really interesting stretch coming up with a lot of road games, 2 high-profile non-conference games. What are you going to be most curious about to see from your team in this stretch? What are you going to be most demanding of? Get past that before you know it. You're kind of getting things together, looking at March pretty soon.
Yeah, I know. My goals for the team are much simpler, you know, than, hey, we're trying to win a national championship this year. I don't know that they can see that far ahead. And hey, we have 13 straight Final Fours. We need to go to Final Four. It's a bad year. I don't think they can process that. So, for me, the goals that I've laid out for them are, I showed them a graph. You know, that when you play and you're playing well, the graph trends up, right? And then when you struggle, this team I'm talking about, it goes down and down and down and down and down and down. And then it takes forever to come back up. And then it'll stay there for a little bit, and it'll go right back down. So I said, anytime there's that big of a gap, you can't be any good. You can't be any good. And that goes for you as a player and us as a team. So then I showed him a graph where you're moving up and your dip is about that big. Then you go up and it dips. Go up and it dips. Go up and it dips. Those are little bumps in the road. I'm not making shots, or I'm struggling with, some part of my game. You get that back right away. That's the goal, that we don't play like we played in the third quarter today, where it just looks like we can't do anything right. So you can't go from the way we played the first quarter to the way we played the third quarter. You're not a good team then. For March, for the big games coming up. You're not going to win those games. So for me, that's the goal. That's what I have to fix, and that's where I have to get them. Each individual's got to get there. And our team has to get there. And I think if we do get there, just like that, I think we're going to be really hard to play against. I think we'll be a really good number 4 seed. I don't think anybody will want to be in our bracket for a 4 seed, huh? What do you think? Or 5 or 6? No? Yeah, God forbid, we'll have to play someplace other than Bridgeport or Albany. We've never done that before, have we? We've never won games in other states, have we?
Geno, your team blocked 15 shots. If
We
my
blocked
math,
15 shots?
if my math is correct, that's 23% of the shots that the other team took today. You also had 16 steals. Can you just talk about the aggression on defense, and has that been a focus?
The other change we made, and you might have noticed, we started the pressure a little bit more, 3/4 court, full court, so we extended our defense once we put Nika in the lineup, right? So we moved everything up. There's a little more aggressiveness of going after the ball, trying to get in the passing lane. We're not quite there yet. We don't quite have it, like some of the teams that I've coached. Today we defended the half-court shot really well. And we were content to give them uncontested layups. But we made sure they didn't take any threes from half court. So I got to make sure that they understand that it's okay if they shoot it from half court. That guy that's standing underneath the basket, that you just let him run down there, we should probably guard that guy.
Dorka only had 3 shots today, and it didn't seem like she was as aggressive as she had been for the past couple games since the UCLA game. So what do you think the key will be to get her a little more aggressive and a few more looks?
What I said about teams, that applies to players too. That when you're going good and you look great, and then all of a sudden when you, like Dorka's first 2 free throws, both swished, neither of them touched the rim. Her next 2 free throws wouldn't have hit this table. How do you go from that to that? So there's good misses, there's bad misses. And sometimes, it's hard for them to sustain it. She took a shot. Was it the other night? I don't know when it was. Maybe in a Creighton game, I don't know. So maybe that's bothering her, I don't know. We'll have to check with her. But I don't generally worry about Dorka. She works hard. She works hard. And when you're playing a team where they're just packing everything in, and sometimes it's just not ideal for players like that. It's not anything that, I'm worried about.
Mike and Alexa.
Geno, I know this year is different because you're waiting on a couple key players to return, obviously, but is early to mid-February, like Valentine's Day, do you usually tend to know like what your team's made of, what it's probably capable of in March, once you get into early February?
Yeah, I think those last couple weeks, yeah, those last 2 weeks especially, maybe the last 5 or 6 games that you play in February, Yeah, they're huge momentum builders. If you get it going by mid-February, and you really got it going, then you're going to be in great shape in March. That's been the pattern, for sure. For sure. You know, last year we played at Arkansas and got our butts beat. And the turnaround started the very next game at DePaul. And from that DePaul game, it was, you know, pretty good ride. So.
It's going to be interesting as you reintegrate Paige and AZ.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, they're going to have a tough time cracking the lineup. Hey, life, you know, you have to be fair, right? It's not fair. These other guys are working their butt off, practicing every day, sweating, and getting yelled at by me all the time, and then you're just going to hand it to those two guys? That's not fair. You got to do what's fair. You got to break them up. You got to have tryouts. You got to see if they can make the team.
I saw you talking to her before the game. She walked away and you just turned around and shook your head. I could only imagine what that was about.
I break my own promises. Don't speak to her. If you don't want to hear something ridiculous, don't speak to her. And I keep breaking my own promise to myself. And she never disappoints me.
How long off crutches for her, Geno?
Huh?
When did she come off crutches?
The other day. Yeah. The other day. And now she's out there and she goes, I'm allowed to shoot. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. You know, she's a child prodigy. At Hopkins, I thought she went to Hopkins High School, not Johns Hopkins College. She got a medical degree before she graduated from Hopkins. Paige, where'd you graduate from? Hopkins. She thinks it was John Hopkins. She knows more than any doctor, any coach, anybody. She's a prodigy. God damn it, I can't wait to get her back. That's about it, right, guys?
One quick one.
What?
We won't talk with you before Oregon, so I'm just curious from what you've seen from them, what challenges they present,
Ugh.
what you think about that.
They've kind of been like everybody else too, right? A lot of ups and downs,
Injured,
a lot of
like
injuries, a lot of people out, not knowing who's going to be in the lineup. So apparently they've gotten healthier. I'd be anxious to see how they do today. They have a pretty big game today against Arizona. And naturally, in the wonderful world of scheduling, they're home Saturday, and we're flying 3,000 miles and playing Monday afternoon. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect from them because I don't know who exactly is going to be 100%. But they're always good up there. They always shoot the ball great. You know, they've got tremendous size. Obviously, they're one of the best teams in the country when they're 100%. And if they're 100% on Monday, it's going to be a really tough assignment for us. In fact, if they're 80% Monday, it's going to be tough. But it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. And the more tough games we have, you know, it was the Creighton game, the Butler game was the first game we had this year where we could actually sit back and go, yeah, this was pretty good, and, you know, we could rest a little bit in the fourth quarter. Every other game has been a grind. I think that toughens you up a little bit. And I think Monday will do that for us. We win, that's great, obviously. Huge confidence boost for our guys if we win. If we don't win, it'll be like that South Carolina game. It depends how we don't win. So we'll know more Monday night than we do now.
When do you fly out?
When do we fly out?
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I know. Yes. their dumbass coach made a bad decision.
Speaking one more, you got to see Ice Brady play last night.
I did.
What did you see? Did
Not allowed
you
to talk
like
about
what you saw?
I'm not allowed to talk
I'm
about it?
sorry, I'm sorry. I had the wrong year. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sorry, Carl.
No, it's okay.
You know, I've done this. I know who to talk about, he can talk about it, you can't.
Okay, God forbid anybody questions.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
But did you like what you see?
You related to Paige?
Yeah. I wish. What did you see? Did you like what you saw?
I did.
And
She looked a lot better than she did this summer.
what do you want her to get, and what do you want her to get out of a game like this when she's watching you play?
Yeah.
Is there anything?
Well, I don't know what they get when they come and watch. I have no idea. You know, when I watched her last night, they ran an out-of-bounds play for her to make a three, and she knocked it in. So that's unusual for a kid her size. That's a great thing, that she's so comfortable shooting it, and she's left-handed, and Jamel thinks that's an added skill, because that's something that takes a while for the other guy to get used to. So she's a terrific shooter from the perimeter. She's a really good passer. She really understands the game a little bit. Coach does a good job there. She moves with a purpose. There's no awkward steps in the way she plays. And she competes. And her conditioning's got to get better, like every high school kid. So by the end of June, that kid's going to help us a lot next year. A lot. A lot. She's got a great way about her.